Transylvania. It's a name that makes people think of misty mountains, old forests, and of course Dracula. The very mention of Transylvania conjures images of eerie landscapes and ancient tales. But Transylvania is more than just myths and legends. It's a region steeped in history and culture, offering a unique blend of the past and present. It's a place with a rich history, interesting culture, and amazing buildings. The architecture here tells stories of bygone eras and the people who lived through them. Tucked away among the hills and vineyards are fortified churches, like silent guards watching over the past. These structures stand as a testament to the region's turbulent history. These amazing buildings, built centuries ago by a group called the Transylvanian Saxons, show us a time when faith and protection went hand in hand. They were not just places of worship, but also fortresses against invaders. Imagine a time when Transylvania, now part of Romania, was a mix of different cultures. It was a melting pot where various ethnic groups coexisted, each contributing to the region's rich tapestry. Lots of invaders came, wanting to take over. The region was a battleground for many, each wave of invaders leaving their mark. During all this trouble, a strong group of people, the Transylvanian Saxons, made a life for themselves there. They were resilient and resourceful, carving out a place for themselves amidst the chaos. Kings of Hungary invited them to settle and protect the borders. These settlers were seen as a buffer against the constant threat of invasion. These German-speaking people brought their farming and building skills, and they also brought their style of architecture. Their influence is still visible in the region's buildings and agricultural practices. You can see their legacy in the strong fortified churches all over Transylvania. These churches are not just historical monuments, they are symbols of the Saxons' enduring spirit. These churches show their faith and how much they wanted to protect their homes. They stand as a reminder of a time when faith, community, and defense were intertwined. The Transylvanian Saxons, who came from Germany in the 1100s, were very important to Transylvania's history and culture. Hungarian rulers invited them to help defend the kingdom and grow its economy. These skilled builders, farmers, and traders created successful communities. They brought their language, customs, and building skills, changing the look of Transylvania. For a long time, the Saxons lived peacefully. Their fortified churches were places to worship and meet as a community. But these churches weren't just for religion, they were also strong, safe places during war. The Saxons, known for being tough, defended their homes and their way of life against many attacks. We can still see their legacy in the well-preserved fortified churches and the traditions their descendants still follow today. Transylvania's fortified churches are more than just pretty buildings. They are important symbols of a rich culture and show how strong and clever the Transylvanian Saxons were. Because they are so important, UNESCO, a group from the United Nations, put 7 villages with fortified churches on its World Heritage List. These villages are Biertan, Prejmer, Viscri, Darju, Saskiz, Kalnik, and Valea Vilor. They show the best of Transylvanian Saxon architecture. Each village is special, from the strong walls of Prejmer to the beautiful location of Viscri. The churches are different sizes and styles, because the communities they served had different needs. But they all had the same purpose: to be a safe place and a place to pray. UNESCO's recognition honors the Transylvanian Saxons and shows how important it is to protect these buildings for the future. The fortified churches of Transylvania show how clever and resourceful the Transylvanian Saxons were. These structures are a testament to their ingenuity and determination to protect their communities. Because there was always a danger of attack, they made their churches into strong fortresses that could hold out during long sieges. These fortifications were not just for show, they were practical and essential for survival. The churches, usually built on hills or in important spots, were designed to be safe. Their strategic locations allowed them to serve as lookout points and places of refuge. Thick walls, made even stronger with supports and towers, protected them from enemies. These walls were often several feet thick, making them nearly impenetrable. Inside the walls, villagers hid during war. These spaces were designed to accommodate entire communities, providing them with a safe haven. Storehouses held food, and there were places for families to stay safe. These provisions ensured that the villagers could survive for extended periods without needing to leave the safety of the church. The churches, often decorated with beautiful paintings and carvings, were places to pray and find comfort. These artistic elements provided spiritual solace and a sense of normalcy during turbulent times. The churches are a mix of Romanesque, Gothic, and Renaissance styles, showing the different cultures that have influenced Transylvania. This blend of architectural styles reflects the region's rich and diverse history. From the tall bell towers to the clever defenses, every part of the churches shows the skill and hard work of the builders. These structures stand as enduring symbols of the community's resilience and faith. Life inside the fortified walls showed how strong and close-knit the Transylvanian Saxon communities were. These walls were not just physical barriers, but also symbols of unity and resilience. They provided a sense of security and belonging, fostering a unique way of life. During peaceful times, the area inside the walls was busy. Markets thrived with the hustle and bustle of daily trade, and the air was filled with the sounds of lively conversations and the clinking of coins. It was a vibrant hub of activity. There were markets, kids played, and people went about their daily lives. Children's laughter echoed through the courtyards, and market stalls were filled with fresh produce and handmade goods. Life inside the fortifications was a blend of work and play. The threat of attack was always there, but it didn't stop them from living. The watchtowers stood as silent sentinels, ever vigilant, yet the villagers carried on with their daily routines, finding joy and purpose in their work and relationships. The churches were more than just places of worship. They were social and cultural centers. These sacred spaces hosted gatherings, celebrations, and important community meetings, serving as the heart of the village. Festivals and celebrations brought everyone together, making their community stronger. These events were filled with music, dance, and traditional foods, reinforcing their cultural identity and providing a much-needed respite from daily challenges. Skills and traditions, passed down from parents to children, helped their unique culture survive. Each generation learned the crafts and customs of their ancestors, ensuring that their heritage would endure. The women were known for their beautiful weaving and embroidery, which decorated their homes and churches. Their intricate designs were a source of pride and a testament to their skill and creativity. The men, skilled in carpentry, blacksmithing, and farming, made sure the community had everything it needed. Their hard work and craftsmanship were essential to the village's self-sufficiency and resilience. Life inside the walls, even though it was sometimes hard, created a strong sense of community and a deep appreciation for their heritage. The shared experiences and collective efforts of the villagers forged bonds that were as strong as the walls themselves. The fortified churches of Transylvania are lasting symbols of a rich culture, created over centuries by the Transylvanian Saxons. These buildings are not only amazing examples of architecture, but they also hold traditions, faith, and community spirit. Even though they were a small group, the Saxons were very important to Transylvania's culture. Their language, customs, and traditions, passed down through many generations, still make the region's culture more interesting. From the lively festivals that celebrate their heritage to the traditional crafts still practiced today, the Transylvanian Saxons' legacy lives on. You can see their influence in the region's food, music, and architecture. This shows how powerful cultural exchange can be. Visiting these churches lets you travel back in time and experience a culture that has survived and kept its traditions. If you want to experience the history and culture of Transylvania, you must visit the Fortified Churches. These amazing buildings, spread across the beautiful countryside, give you a look into the past. Remember that many of these villages are in the countryside, and getting around might be tricky. Renting a car is often the easiest way to explore at your own speed. Plan your trip ahead of time so you have enough time to enjoy each village. The UNESCO sites are a great place to start, but don't be afraid to explore other fortified churches too. Each one has its own story. Opening hours and ticket prices can be different, so check with local tourist offices or websites before you go. Even though they are hundreds of years old, Transylvania's fortified churches face new problems today. Protecting these buildings for the future requires teamwork from local communities, the government, and international groups. Restoration projects, often paid for by donations and grants, fix damage from time, weather, and neglect. But preserving these churches is about more than just fixing the buildings. It's also about protecting the stories, traditions, and cultural practices that make them special. People are working to record and save the stories of the Transylvanian Saxons, so their history isn't forgotten. Educational programs and cultural events teach people about these important sites and get younger generations involved in protecting them. Transylvania's fortified churches, standing like silent guards from the past, offer more than just a history lesson. They make us think about the power of faith, resilience, and how people can create beautiful things even when times are hard. A trip through Transylvania is like traveling through time. It's a chance to connect with a past that is still important today. When you stand inside these old churches, listen carefully. You might hear the echoes of footsteps, the quiet sounds of prayers, and the whispers of stories passed down through generations. These stones hold memories, secrets, and a timeless beauty that goes beyond language and culture. So, come explore the rolling hills, visit the fortified churches, and discover the magic of Transylvania.